Hi there, this is Mark on Dice Tales, and I'm doing a Watch It Played review description of Race for the Galaxy, the Android app. Now this is based on the board game card game, Race for the Galaxy, which is a 2 to 4 player game, usually played within about 30 minutes to an hour for ages 12 plus, and it's quite a complex game with lots of iconography, but it's simple when you know what you're doing. After a few games it really shines, and I really liked the iconography myself. And let's see, its heritage, it's based on another card game called San Juan, which in itself is based on more of a board game called Puerto Rico. Anyway, let's go back onto the actually Android app itself. You've got settings for music and sound effects, so I've turned them down slightly so you can hear me. Just going to turn my heater off just in case you can hear that in the background. And graphics high, animation speed, language. There are extra expansions to get. 3 at the moment. Gathering Storm, which I highly recommend. Rebel vs. Imperium, which I'd say if you really like the game, probably go for that. And if you really like the game, Brink of War expansion. I've not gone for them just yet. Really loved Gathering Storm, and that's probably the most played expansion when I'm playing the board game. What else we got? They've got the rules here. How much detail does it go into? Is it just that? Just a very quick overview. So you're building a space empire. You start with a single world. You want to try and expand it to 12 cards. Having 12 cards will end the game. Also, depleting all the victory points in the game would end the game as well. There are 5 phases: explore, develop, settle, consume, and produce. Only selected phases occur. If a phase isn't chosen by any player, it doesn't occur that round. And in each phase, every player will choose if it gain. Each phase, every player that chose that phase gains a bonus, but other players can also do the same action without the bonus. So explore, the bonus there would get you extra cards, or let you keep an extra card, depending on, there's generally 2 options per phase. Develop lets you develop at a cost of -1. Settle, if you settle, the bonus is you gain an extra card at the end of settling. Consume, you can double the victory points that you get when you consume. And produce, you can produce on an extra windfall world. So they're all sort of technical terms you'll probably see as I play the game. There's a card layout there. You'll probably see that better if we go into a game. I'm going to go to a new game. Now, I tried to do this review playthrough on easy and medium, and I found them too easy. Though I have played, as I say, the board game and the Hard A.I quite extensively in the class. I've not played for a number of years. On the left here, you can select the other expansions. So I've not bought them yet, so only this first one is highlighted. NW means New Worlds, which means it's giving you, I don't know if these worlds, I don't recognise them from the actual board game, card game, so it looks like they're giving you 6 extra possible start worlds. So I've gone for this Deus Ex type character, and I'm naming him after my channel, Dice Tales. And let's go start. Now, the Gathering Storm expansion, that adds extra victory conditions, and they would go along here. Sort of, if you complete the objectives like side quests, you'd get extra points. I'd have to buy the expansion. I'll probably do another review if I get the expansion later on in the year. Right, so you get to choose which starting world you want to go on. I've been doing military way too much, so I'm going to go with Novelty Goods this time. And it's quite a nice one because it lets you consume straight away and produces goods straight away, which is a good way of replenishing your cards. And also, looking at my hand, I can see I've got a lot of blue cards down at the bottom there, so let's have a quick look at those. Very cheap world, I can settle that for free, so the 0 means how many cards I have to discard to place this into my deck during the settle phase, but it does have the negative condition of reducing my military. And this one is another consuming world, but instead of consuming for points, I'm consuming for cards. So I can discard any good and gain 2 cards. Not too sure why that's good, but this one is discard a good for a victory point and a card. And this halo effect, so you see that it's not a filling blue planet. It's a haloed blue planet. That means it gets a good on it when you place it, but then it won't recharge that good in a non-bonus produce phase. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Trust me. You'll see it in action. So this one is a filled in blue planet, and you can see on phase 5, which is a produce phase, V, this one will get a good card. No matter who chooses the produce phase, this card will always get a good on it. And I can also sell the good in phase 4 for 1 victory point. Alien Worlds, they're quite rare, but they're worth a lot of victory points. So the 6 in the corner is how many I'd have to play it. No, 6 in the corner isn't how many cards I'm going to have to discard. Because it's red, it means I need at least 6 military to place this card. And I start with no military, so it's going to be quite expensive to get. It's like an end game type of card. And yellow cards can be traded for more. Let's see if I can show you the trade. Let's see, I'm going to click on the V. Now let's develop, explore. Not let me see it just yet, I don't think. I'll try and get to that later on. My last card is Consumer Markets. Again, quite an expensive card, near an endgame type card. I can discard 3 novelty goods for 1 victory point each, so 3 victory points. Can be good. And every time I produce, or the more blue cards, blue planets I have, that get a card, that will net me a card as well. So I want to keep hold of that one. I'm going to get rid of. I have to discard down to 4 to start with. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Am I liking that Windfall World? I think I am. These two are very similar. That gets me a victory point already. Right, since my first world already does that, I'm going to get rid of that one. And okay, let's see what we do. He's chosen a military world, a military sort of mining world. Let's have a quick look. You can zoom in and double click on what he's got. He's got a bit of military, and he's going to get a better sort of card rate. Right now, I can show you what the card rate exchange is. So I hold on to that. So consume very tiny graphics, but a blue card you can sell for 2 cards, a brown card you can sell for 3 cards, green card you can sell for 4 cards, a yellow one for 5 cards. The narrative is novelty goods, rare elements, alien tech, something like that, and ancient alien tech, something. I think, no, green is genes or something like that, genome tampering, and yellow is alien tech. Okay, so I've got to choose what I'm going to do. So I could settle and get a nice cheap windfall card. Settle and sell. Settle and settle. Right, settle. And sell for cards. So I've chosen 2 options down the left hand side. They become indented. And I'm going to OK that. So he's gone for settle and settle there. That's what you can see in his. So he might be militarizing maybe. I'm going to have this Windfall World. So I don't need to discard anything for that. And because it's a halo, it's got a blue good on it. And I can settle again if I want. So because I settled and I chose a settle phase, I got an extra card for placing that planet. Yes, I'm going to settle again. I'm going to go for this blue one. And get rid of 1 and 2, which is a cost in the top left hand corner there. And what's he been doing? So he's got a green Windfall World and a blue Windfall World. So is he rocking up the victory points yet? He's got 5 cards in his hand. Drag a good trade. Can I choose? Yeah, I have to. Just got me 2 cards. Right. So next time next turn round I want to produce, because I'll get 2 blue on these 2 planets, this one and this one. And because I choose produce, I'll also get a card on this one, so it'll set me up for the next turn. And he won't get the bonus because he doesn't have any full planets. His mining planet will get a card on it. So sometimes you've got to look at what your opponent's going to choose. That's one of the tactics of the game. Right, what cards have I drawn? Discard cards for victory points may not be doubled. I've not got a lot of choice there. Can't afford the 5 to develop it. Got nothing else to settle. Got no goods to sell. I'm pretty much exploring this turn, not many options. So I'm going to go for the search for extra 5 cards, an extra +1 card, and keep 2 cards. So I'm going to keep 2 cards and have lots. So I can't discard these 3 that I started with. So I'm going to look at all these and choose which one I want. Now the 6s I think are way off for me. No even point looking at them. Like the idea of mining robots. Shall I just go pure blue strategy? I'm very, very much thinking that. Let's see what the difference is between these ones. When I produce a good, that gem world, produce a good, you're going to get an extra card. And this one, when I trade a card, get 2 extra cards. So that makes the blue novelty goods almost as good as... let's see if we can't see at this point. Almost as good as the green gene cards. So, don't want the military one, can't afford it anyway. Settling for cards is good, but I don't need brown ones, and I don't think I'm going to go for brown in this playthrough. And let's see, mining robots, no. Right, and then because I chose the 2 deploys, I get to keep these 2 blue planets. Right, he's chosen settle, so I can place a world, and I might as well do that. I'm going to go for that one. I'm going to get rid of this 6er and this 2er. He's going for a cheap world again, but it's not a producing world. The grey ones generally have good powers, but they don't produce the cards themselves. He's produced, I produced, so he's got cards in his windfall world. Did I not produce this turn? No, I searched and searched, didn't I? So I didn't get one on my windfall world, but I got one on everything else. And did I get an extra card there? I don't think that was there before, was it? And that was from the gem world, which says I get a card when it gets produced on. So, next turn. So I definitely want to sell for cards to get some cards back into my hand. Sell, and let's do... Can I sell and produce? Sell and produce. So I'm going very much down the trading route this time round. He's settling. Do I want to settle? Could settle this blue planet, but then I'd lose my consumer markets, which I want to keep, because I think that'll be a good money spinner for me, and card getter for me. I'm hoping this turn is going to get me cards, next turn I can play that. So I'm going to pass on that. He's then doing lots of trading and getting some victory points. So I'm going to trade, choose a consume power. Choose that, get rid of that, gives me 2 more cards, and choose another consume power. You must always consume if you've got an ability, even if it's going to be bad for you and take away a card that you think you want to save, you have to consume. So look at that, I'm well in the cards now, so I can develop that consumer markets ability. Oh, that's it, Merchants Guild. I feel like, oh, look at that, 11 points. So that number in the hexagon changes depending on what this up here says. And that will vary depending on my board state. So I get 2 victory points per production world and per good in your empire. So let's have a look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the 4 cards, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it somehow added up. What was it? 1 victory points, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I think I missed up. The windfall word didn't give me points. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it must have a point for itself or something like that. So I want to get that into play as soon as possible. So develop, but I also want the blue one as well. So I'm developing and producing. So I want this consumer markets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can easily afford it. Developing makes it 4 cards to discard. So there we go. Discard 4 cards. Rebel World or Military, can't afford that. Alien Tech World, not interested. Gets a bit more interesting when you've got Gathering Storm and you've got goals which encourage you to get Alien Tech. Plain World, don't think I'm going to need that. 1 more card to pay. When you develop, getting a card and sell for 1 good. It's got to be the brown one, I think. The other ones look vaguely interesting. And confirm that. So we're both on 8 points at the moment, so you can see in these hexagons here. He's just done a massive trade, so he must have been doubling his points or something like that. So yeah, times 2 victory tokens. There's only 14 victory tokens left, so I've got to watch that if he's somehow got some engine. I think my engine's going to outdo him next turn, but I do want to build these 6s, so anyway, choose a consume power. I will choose this one for more cards. Choose another consume power. I will choose this one. You can't use a consume power more than once unless it specifically says, so this one says it can be used 3 times. So is that going to get me back into the race? 8 to his 14. And I get lots of cards, so that's brilliant. That's because of this card. Every time I produce a good, I'm going to get a card, so that gives me all the options in the world. If I play this plus 11 point card this turn, I think I will be rocking. And I'm going to sell for times 2. He's exploring, looking for a good card. And developing, I'm going for this 6er. Oh, no, sorry, it's I'm in the explore phase, aren't I? Military ones are no good to me, get rid of that. Develop, right, that's my goal. Bamf, 11 pointer. Pay 5 cards, right, so that military one's no good. That military one's no good. Green card's no good. I'm not diversified, that's no good to me. Pay 1 more card, another green card I don't need. Very, very focused strategy for me this turn. I have played and lost on hard a few times, and I've also played online, and the online is quite good in that while you're waiting for the opponent, you can come back to your local game. I've had some online games where we played very fast, and it's like my opponent's had a turn, I've had a turn, and I've got 1 or 2 ongoing games when my opponent's had a turn and wandered off. But it's still in my games I can come back. I should get a notification when it's my turn. Choose a consume power. Right, first of all, I will get some cards, and then I will use this one for victory points. 1, 2, 3. That should give me 6 victory points. And there you go, very quick game. We only got to half our tableau, which is normally you could have 12, but because I built so fast and was so focused on novelty goods, and he was trading for goods as well, we depleted the victory points over here. Once they reach 0, it's not a final 0, so if it reaches 0, no one else can get points. You can still draw points, but it just signifies the end of the game, if that makes sense. So say I got it to 0 and then he still needed to get 6 points from it, he still could do that. So that's like half a game. That's why it can be sometimes 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Obviously the board game takes a little bit longer with you doing the manual shuffling and such. This one takes all that shuffling out of your hands. And it was a close game as well. If I didn't pay attention there, 23-21. You can't close this and look at your tableaus. I like to sort of see what story I was doing, so I was Earth's lost colony. Somehow our lost colony found another refugee world, so something terrible must have happened in our past. New Vinland, I'm guessing that's some sort of wine land. And then gems, we started getting prosperous, so being lost and refugees, we expanded to new novelty good territories. We then really conquer the consumer markets and become the best merchants guild in the galaxy. Let's see what my opponent was up to. So he was abandoned bind squatters who found some genes of the Uplish Ganache, some sort of weird alien race that the yellow aliens had tinkered with. He built a gateway station, started expanding his colony, but not as good as me. Didn't go into wine and gems. Found Old Earth, so getting very Battlestar Galactica there. Became a intergalactic contact specialist, and then ups his military might. So he was a bit all over the place, really. I can't see a solid strategy, but that's the way the game is. There's routes to victory. Gathering Storm changes it up. Sometimes you can ignore the goals completely if your cards are good, a bit like mine were just laid out then. Other times they're good ways of getting back in the game if your opponent's sort of snowballing away from you sometimes. 3 players would make a difference. I'd like to maybe do a 3-player AI. I maybe do a hard player and a medium player just to ease me back into it. But I'm very much liking it. It is very small, so maybe some people might find it better on a tablet. This is just on a phone. And yeah, the hard difficulty is a good challenge for me. I've had a few losses from it so far. And playing online, I've lost online, though some of them have been close, some of them have been sort of runaway victories. But after a few plays now, I'm getting a feel for the cards and the strategies, and it's deep, so stick with it. And get those expansions when you feel ready for them. Don't feel forced to get them straight out the box. Just get to start playing and winning with what you've got, and then expand with the new tactics that the new expansions bring. So that is Mark from Dice Tales doing a Android app Race for the Galaxy. Watch it played, and that's me signing off.